Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. Our attention is precious and often swept away by screens and media. By reclaiming our mindshare, we can create more free time, forge deeper relationships, and find more peace of mind. Learn the specific steps to take back your attention in this episode. That includes how our screens and media effectively, however inadvertently, take over our days. Identify the new mindset to break from using these as a lifestyle or as a companion or a source of addiction. How to take back our time, energy, and attention through specific actions. Ways to put our technology to work for us in bringing us closer to our dreams and goals. The surprising effect of devices turned off in the next room on our ability to concentrate or relax. Spend time and attention with intention in a way that is aligned with our priorities and values. Before we jump in, I want to shout out one of my clients who had a win in this area. Here is the quote from him. My breakthrough in today's session was recognizing how concerned I was with they, the fictitious individuals that I am assuming are watching and judging my every move in my career, my resume, and my LinkedIn profile. This client would open an app to check out a job opportunity and quickly get pulled into monitoring all the apparent career milestones and accomplishments of his peers, and would feel pressure to get every word on his profile just right to appeal not only to his contemporaries, but also recruiters. Intentionally reallocating time and attention away from scrolling and comparison towards more fruitful self-discovery and career design helped not only his productivity, but also his well-being. The big discovery this client made was how much value he was assigning, how he felt he was being perceived online, imagining a group of onlookers watching and judging his every move. By releasing this fixation with social media, this client reclaimed mindshare, time, attention, and energy to apply towards more constructive pursuits. Similar victories are shared by all of my clients, and I have experienced it too in my own career turnaround. So let's hop to today's podcast content and get you on your way to experiencing this also. Are you addicted to screens? Head always down scrolling? Today we push back and we master our media rather than it mastering us. We put down the screen to pick up what's more important. If you consume media, you may be reading or watching traditional media like network news, publications, books, and articles, media and entertainment, including television series and movies, and also social media. A significant amount of our time and attention is taken by these media outlets every day. Don't think so? It turns out that what we tune into influences our lives far more than we realize. And I'm not just talking about programming on certain topics. It impacts our well-being, our outlook, and that has a physiological impact on our bodies and health. Let's gauge your media usage. First step, pull out your phone. For iPhone users, go to Settings and then Screen Time. View your average hours on screens per day. Next step, add on time spent on any other screens, television, tablets, laptops, computers, including apps like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney+, you know the drill. Next step, you may exclude screens used for work within the working hours of 9 to 5. If you have tried to cut back on screen time before, it was probably using brute force and feeling like you were depriving yourself. None of that here. We are going to get to the root of your habits and change them just the way you want. Most business people say they don't have enough time, their relationships are suffering, and they can't find peace of mind. First, let's talk awareness. Let's discuss what makes media tick and what role you play. So I'm a businesswoman. I love business. I always have. It encourages creativity and innovation. So many sides to make it run, and people are at the heart of it. It's like a power that can be used for good or evil. To serve people, good. To maximize profit at all costs, not always so good. Traditional media, news, and magazines have always taken up some of our mindshare. TV and movies for leisure too. The latest is social media. These businesses have one goal: to keep your attention. The more readers and viewers and subscribers, the more other businesses will pay to advertise on them. News channels might say they are bringing you the news without bias. The truth is, every outlet has a bias. Over and above any political lean, I promise you their bias is to stay in business. Sometimes doing the right thing, including delivering unbiased facts, doesn't help them stay in business or make profits. Consider the last time you read an unbiased headline. Sensationalism sells. It holds your attention and keeps you tuning back in. Most of the time, the headline isn't even representative of the article. The longer they hold your attention, the more mindshare they have, the more profit they make from advertising. For TV channels, it's time tuned in. For social media, it's time on screen. For publishing, it's publications sold. Social media being grounded in technology, we're smart enough to start using artificial intelligence to study our usage and present to us the content that most holds our attention. Every pause in our newsfeed is noted, and what we are presented with on the app is then a filtered, curated newsfeed designed to maximize your time in the app, so the company can present statistics of how much of your time and attention they own, so advertisers will pay up to sell to you. Businesses exploit human behavior by designing their media with something called positive intermittent reinforcement in mind. It's like a casino slot machine. When we check our phones hoping that we have a notification, it's like we are pulling the lever of a slot machine, hoping we hit the jackpot. It seems like a positive thing, and our brain has a small celebration if you get the notification, the email, the alert. Ever pull down on your mail app to check for a new message? It's just like pulling down the handle on a slot machine. What is the solution? It's not to bury your head in the sand and smash your devices. Rather, this is a call to be smart about your usage. Now you know better. The first takeaway is to recognize that all media is incentivized to hold your attention for as long as possible. So it's up to you to use it wisely. Consider honestly, who stands to benefit more from your current consumption of media, TV, movies, news outlets, social media? You or the businesses capturing your attention? Next, let's look at how our media usage can rise to the level of addiction. To take back control of your mindshare, first we must fully understand the impact of not being intentional with how you spend your mindshare. It's been long recognized that smoking alcohol and drugs have negative health consequences, yet they are still turned to as an escape. Gambling and overspending can destroy wealth. All of the above can rise to the level of addiction and disease. Consider them all like getting a hit of dopamine to your brain. They all represent an escape from our actual reality, a brief release that you were tempted to repeat, a crutch. This is the kick to the gut portion of this episode, a brutal truth that may hit close to home, but that you need to hear to grow. This awareness is what inspires us to make a change. Most of our current use of devices falls in the same category as substance abuse, gambling, and overspending. It can be characterized as addiction and disease. It's time to get back in control of our usage. For the parents in the house, it's important to lead by example on this topic so you can influence your kids. Case in point, in 2020, the World Health Organization advised parents to limit screen time to just 1 hour a day for children under 5. Depression rates in teens jumps by 1/3 with frequent social media use. How about the geniuses that designed this technology? Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, puts caps on screen usage and waited to give cell phones to his kids until age 14. Snapchat's CEO limits his kids' use of tech to 90 minutes per week. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, didn't allow his kids to use the iPad and enforced limited tech use at home. The Social Dilemma is a documentary that exposes how designers of social media are now working to raise awareness on how those brilliant designs are inadvertently increasing unintended harmful results, including increased divisiveness among people on a variety of topics, shattered self-esteem, inappropriate content, predators, and identity theft, the rise of fake news without standards or fact-check content. Devices hold the power of life and death. They can be used for world-changing good or for evil. Sound dramatic? It is. This tough look is not meant to scare or depress you. This is where it starts getting good. Each day, we can decide specific actions to take and habits to begin to get you back in control of your Mindshare. The next takeaway? Many attributes of media and screens mimic that of substances that we abuse and are prone to addiction. Consider, from 1 to 10, how addicted you feel to your screens, akin to substance abuse, gambling, and overspending, 10 being fully addicted, and 1 being ready to quit all screens. Consider if you have experienced divisive content and behaviors online, decreased self-esteem, and fake news. Next, let's look at productivity, using screens as tools, not as companions or as a lifestyle. American philosopher and psychologist William James said, "Your life experience is what you choose to pay attention to." I will use the term mindshare to describe what you are spending your precious mind on. Think of it akin to the share of your wallet. What do you spend your money on? Here we are considering, what do we spend our attention on? Businesses want your attention so they can make money by having companies who want to sell to you pay them for your attention. They have become the ultimate middleman. Picture it like this. Imagine you go to your favorite coffee shop for a latte, but also the experience. You get there. When your latte is ready, you are happy. While you're there, imagine solicitors wandering around the cafe, selling you things. You would rather not hear from them, or maybe you do buy what they are selling. But either way, imagine the cafe is handing out more and more coffee for free, just to keep you inside the cafe. Sounds creepy, and not a place where you should spend your time. That is social media. The app is free because the product for sale is you. Back to our coffee shop example. Turns out the coffee is what brings you there, so that your time and attention can be sold to those solicitors walking around the cafe. The coffee shop owners are those free app designers. The real customers are the advertisers on social media. They pay the coffee shop, or the app owners, to get access to your time and attention. Your screens should be a tool, not one that buzzes you to use it, but one that is quietly there when you have a use for it. Today you take back control of your attention, of your mind share. Gone are the days where your time would disappear in front of your eyes. We won't do this by eliminating all media consumption. We will instead curate it to be intentionally beneficial to us. Yes, our screens will become a useful tool rather than life support or a companion. Our next takeaway. Our life experience is what we pay attention to. Consider, where is it that your time and attention is what's for sale? Do you see why the coffee or app usage being free makes good business sense, but at a high cost to users? Next, your attention. Let's reclaim energy and reduce the feeling of being busy. In a research study at the University of Texas, it was found that having a device in a room with you, even while turned off, still pulls our attention away from the task or the people that we are with. Having the device in another room altogether helps us perform and pay attention to what is happening in front of us. How many of us have a TV in every room in our house? Living rooms and dens, sure, but how about bedrooms, kitchens, even bathrooms and outdoor patios? How many have computers in bedrooms or use laptops and iPads in every room? Consider how that is subconsciously affecting every conversation. What might it be like if you reconsidered the number of your TVs? Imagine if you pulled all screens out of bedrooms, including the mobile ones. Would sleep and rest be more peaceful? Imagine if you pulled all screens away from dining tables, including the mobile ones. Would connection between diners be deeper? How about creating a super useful, beautiful, functional charging station that is out of sight, no matter what it does to their battery life? Put those devices in their home when you get home. Their attention-diluting power will be limited if they stay in that other room until you intentionally want to use one and invest your attention in something that will enrich you. Turn off all notifications. Like those creepsters we imagine tapping your shoulder in the coffee shop to sell you something, think of those notifications just like that. You use your phone when you choose, not when it buzzes you to take your mind share. Next takeaway. Devices and screens pull our attention if they are in the room, even if they are turned off. Consider what changes you want to make on where you keep devices in what rooms. Keeping certain rooms for where relaxation, like bedrooms, and human connection, like dining rooms and kitchens, are the priority. Create a centralized charging station, ideally just inside the door to your home, where devices will remain to be charged. Turn off notifications with the exception of emergency alerts and calls from the phone numbers of elders or children that you care for. Number 6, time. Increase your free time. The screen time stats from your phone or devices, with computer time added on, TV and TV app time added on. This is the true total of your screen time daily. This is the number of hours you spend staring at a screen rather than sleeping, looking into someone's eyes, taking in nature, or creating. Screen Time app in Apple is a good place to start digging a layer deeper into what apps are taking your time. Split your apps into ones that enrich you versus those that deplete you. Examples might include journal apps, reading, audiobook apps, health and fitness apps where you may track steps, sleep, or view workouts, cameras and photos to capture your real life and happy memories, meditation, education. Congrats, these apps have earned a spot on your homepage. If you reach for your phone and you are confident that spending your precious time on these apps will enrich your life, then they can be in plain sight when you open your phone. Other apps should be deleted. Set limits on time and screen time functionality, or hidden in folders where before opening you should take pause and proceed with caution, perhaps with a physical timer on. It's like seeing the warning on a pack of cigarettes. We need these speed bumps when accessing. Repeat after me. Every time you hear yourself say, "I don't have enough time," remember your stats on how much time you are currently spending on screens. In other words, congratulations! You do in fact have the time for everything you want to do, if you take back the time you are mindlessly spending on screens. This should feel like a relief. I often say to myself, I have all the time in the world to do exactly what I wish to do in a day, week, month, year. The more you hold on to that, the more it will ring true in your life. Next takeaway, we have all the time for what we prioritized and on which we choose to spend our time. Overhaul your screens. The homepage is reserved for apps that enhance your life, health, and well-being. Take the apps that serve as rabbit holes with no tangible benefits and delete them cold turkey, or apply time limits on each. Apply a 2-hour overall time limit on your devices outside of those used for work during the hours of 9 and 5. Number 7, joy. Filter out anything that doesn't spark joy. A quick dopamine hit from a scan of social media, from seeing a funny meme or a beautiful vacation getaway, does not a joyful life make. Being master of binge-watching all the latest releases on Netflix or in theaters will not be celebrated at the end of your life. Use your device and screens for actual joy. Comb your apps for what brings you joy versus escape, like FaceTime for speaking face-to-face, or good old apps where you connect one-on-one with people without an audience and without ads or likes, aka votes for whether your interaction is approved by others. Apps related to your career is a way for work to take over all hours of your day. So gather these in one folder and be mindful about which hours you are willing to put in overtime. My favorite hack here is using the VIP functionality of email to push an alert in a banner on my phone so I can resist checking my mail app and having to scan my inbox for critical messages. Shopping. Online shopping can also become a habit. The lure of any item available to ship in 1 to 2 days is strong. Don't do it just because you can. Take those items saved for later and empty the cart. News. This is another unsuspecting culprit. Carefully evaluate how much time you spend consuming news daily. News apps, emailed news, TV news, printed news. How does it serve you? How much time do you want to devote to what is going on in the world each day? Is there a source that gets you what you need to know most efficiently? Move the rest to a back folder. Set a timer. Social media. When feeling isolated, it can be tempting to rely on social media for interaction. For many, it's their primary means of socializing. Results include self-image and body image issues, a lack of knowing how to socialize in real life, a curated newsfeed, and popularity contests at every turn by tabulating likes, comparing and despairing. It feeds on our natural instinct to look to others for validation and affirmation of our value or worthiness. In short, if you plan to use it, follow people or pages that enrich your life and educate you, not those that bring you down or encourage you to live vicariously through others' polished and largely touched up highlight reels. Time limits are an absolute must. Now, utilities, which you use for a specific purpose and aren't at risk of stealing massive amounts of time and joy. Categories may include your personal finances and bill pay, travel, navigation apps, those dozen standard apps that are hardwired on your phone but you may not ever choose to use. Pop those in a folder to minimize apps on your home screen. Next takeaway, we can critically evaluate what of our screen and media usage truly sparks joy and benefits us. With your homepage combed again to be sure each app helps you live your best life, it's time to make folders on separate screens. That's where those apps that pose as ways to connect but come with negative side effects of comparison traps, ads, negative content, should live in a folder called social media. Create others for career, news, shopping, and utilities. Then think long and hard when you do go to swipe past your home screen. Do I really want to spend my time and energy on these things that I know don't help me? Number 8, fulfillment. Use our talents. When turned to as an escape, it's easy to get lost in a rabbit hole. It's easy to become an addiction. Your special talents and gifts that you were meant to share with the world get forgotten. Use media as your platform to share your unique talent, to tell your unique story. Resist the urge to conform and present carbon copy imitation output. Use it to help others and serve others with whatever your talent or message to the world is. This being vulnerable and authentic admittedly can feel like a real challenge in a world where fitting in and conforming to the norms of the day are celebrated. If you don't want to waste your unique talent, put it to use, whether privately using screens for research and creating, and/or sharing your story to inspire others to do the same. This is using screens to create rather than to consume. For our last takeaway, use your screens as tools to help you develop and share your unique talents rather than distracting you from your dreams. Consider, what special talent or interest do you have? Would reallocating your Mindshare towards your passion get you closer to your dream? How might you use media to help with your creative pursuits? This is how we reclaim our Mindshare and have even more time and energy to do all the things that matter most to us. This podcast is all about performing with excellence and improving our satisfaction at the same time, reclaiming our Mindshare from media and putting technology to work for us rather than against us allows us to advance our careers and release the negative side effects that come with extensive media usage. This is an often overlooked opportunity to get an edge up on your productivity and your well-being. Stand out from the crowd by using tech differently. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.